All right, all right, all right. So I want to go ahead and welcome Silas to a new episode of You Have a Collect Call From. Hey, how are you doing today, Silas?
Oh, I'm all right. Just hanging out, maintaining. How you doing?
Man, man, if I tell you what happened to me today, uh, 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 I don't know what you would think, but I'm gonna tell you this, Silas. So we're currently in Amsterdam, all right? So the first day we
Okay.
got here, we walked over to your local McDonald's, and we were checking out the menu. And after reviewing the menu, I noticed that they had something that I'd never seen before. They had a chicken Big Mac, if you will. And after seeing that, I was like, man, that's something different. That's something you don't see back home. So today we walked over there, and I picked one up. I was like, man, I really want to taste this before we leave. So I picked one up. We walked back to our hotel, and man, sure enough, it tastes like a Big Mac with with chicken McNuggets inside of it. If that makes any sense.
So how
Yeah.
was it?
It's like it tastes exactly like that. It tastes like a Big Mac. If you remember what a Big Mac tastes like, but instead of
Right, with
having
the
meat,
sauce.
yeah, the sauce, that mystery sauce, that Thousand Island dressing, and then it just tastes like you have like a one big old chicken McNugget in between the buns.
I don't know how that would work. I don't know about that. I don't know about that. I mean,
Yeah.
chicken McNuggets are delicious, but
Hmm.
I don't know with that Thousand Island. I don't know. I don't know about that. Cheese would be good. I can do that. Cheese and I don't know. I
Yeah.
don't know. It's
You know what? When we were in Germany, and I definitely slipped on that one because when we went to Germany, we also stopped at a McDonald's and we were checking out the menu, and they had what did they have? Oh, you know what they had over there? They had a double Big Mac. So it was like four meats. Normally the Big Mac has two. This one had four on it.
Now you are talking my language.
I regret it.
Let's go.
I regret not trying it. So that's why when I saw this chicken one, I was like, man, I gotta eat this one. I gotta record it and I gotta go ahead and upload it. So I went ahead and did that. So our next stop is gonna be we're heading out. We're gonna be flying out to Barcelona tomorrow. And that's the first thing I'm gonna do when I get out there. I'm gonna go check out what's in the menu that's not in the U.S. and I'm gonna try it. And I'm gonna go ahead and report back to you guys, let you know what time it is on those international McDonald's menu.
Yeah, they might have to get their act together in the U.S., man.
Yep,
So,
yep.
so what was it like the traditional like McDonald's chicken that was in it, or was the texture and all of that like the bread was just like the chicken McNuggets but just large?
This call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, you put it as the best way I could have put it. It's the same. It's the sex exactly same chicken McNugget, but like on steroids. Like it's just one big. It's like a piece of a like the size of a meat, but in the size of a chicken nugget.
That is nuts. That's nuts, man. I don't know, man. I'd be kind of suspicious about that, man. Wondering where they got that from. Injected something, a mutant chicken.
Man, I don't know, Silas, but man, I was, I bit into that thing, and I was like, man, it doesn't, I didn't think it was gonna taste as good as it did. I was a bit skeptical before I tried it, but I'm definitely a believer now when it comes to those Big Mac chicken burgers.
Man, you can't go wrong with chicken McNuggets, man. You can't go wrong, man. That's a classic, man. That's that's a classic, man. Chicken McNuggets, man. The the world could and they could have nothing but McDonald's stock left, and I would eat chicken McNuggets for the rest of my life if I could.
You
I
know what?
love those things.
I got some bad news for you, Silas. The chicken McNuggets at back at home, they're not the same anymore.
My my my, Annie told me that they were made out of styrofoam. I don't know if I believe that, but
Yeah, I wouldn't go as far as saying that, but they don't make them the same anymore. So now they make them half of the size that they used to make them before.
really,
And yeah, and it's just not the same anymore. They're a little bit because before they used to be like soft and moist. Now I would say yeah the texture is not the same anymore.
really.
Yeah, yeah,
She
yeah.
told me, yeah, yeah. My wife told me that she's. Matter of fact, we just had this conversation like today, and I said, I was telling her, remember how I told her that everybody has all these, I want to go eat at the steakhouse, I want to go eat here or there, and I was telling her like I just want to go to McDonald's, and she was like, well, you're gonna be disappointed, and I was like, why? She was like, it's not like it was, you know.
No, yeah, she's not
She was
lying.
telling me that. That's crazy. That is nuts.
But
I
I will say this, Silas, is that only applies to the United States. Outside of the United States, they're normally like the way you remember them. And I figured that out, a few years back when we came out, we were like in Italy, France, or we're all over the place, and that was the go-to right there. McDonald's and chicken McNuggets. You couldn't go wrong. I was like, man, these are exactly like how you remember them back in the days. So out here,
right.
they're still the same.
Yeah, that's my jam at McDonald's. Chicken McNuggets and filet of fish with cheese.
Yeah, yeah. Hey, so we got Juan here. We got Juan in the chat, and he writes, "What's up?" He writes, "What's up, Silas and James?" And then right below that, he writes, "Juan," or he writes, "Trump or Biden last night." As far as me, as far as that goes, you know what? I haven't even been paying attention to that. I've been so focused on my vacation right now. That's like the farthest
This
thing.
call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded.
That's the farthest thing from my mind right now.
Well, I can lend a little bit to that conversation.
Hmm.
I watched probably like 15 to 20 minutes of the debate last night, and I mean, with Trump, it's no surprise. He's the biggest liar in the history of mankind. So he just told a whole bunch of lies. He made some interesting points. It's just he's a little shabby on the facts. Like, it doesn't really do that good when you make a good point, but you list a whole bunch of BS, lies as your facts. But Biden, he looks bad, man. Like he looked like he sounded like he had like laryngitis, like he had been at a rock concert the night before, and then like he's just so feeble. Like he's like I mean he looks like if he falls down, that's it. Like I mean I don't mean to be like morbid or anything, but they're talking about 4 more years with this guy. I mean he might not make it 4 more months. I mean, just watch. I'm serious. You watch a clip. Just go anywhere that you can find it, and just watch like 2 minutes of him answering a question. Like it's really, really like bad. Like I mean, and I mean, is this the representation like of the country? Is this the face that you want to put forward of virility and strength and dominance and all of that? Like I mean, optics matter, and if we got Uncle Joe old ass, trotting around the globe trying to cut deals. I'm just saying, I'm just being real. You
Yeah.
laughing, I'm kicking ballistics, man. I'm just kicking ballistics. Like the dude is old. Like it's time to put Joe out the pasture. For real. He should be rocking in a chair somewhere in Virginia on a porch. He shouldn't be running this country, man.
You know what? I will say this side is that I'm not well versed, when it comes to politics and whatnot. But my 2 cents on that is there should definitely be some type of limit when it comes to age. Not only when you're president, or also when you're like in the Senate and in Congress, because you got these old dudes that are freaking dinosaurs that they have two legs in the grave already, and they're the ones making the decisions for this country. I think that they definitely need to bring in some young blood, some new blood and to shake things up and switch things up for the better, opposed to having these dudes that have been in Congress for like the last 40, 50, 60 years, and they're just gaming the system for their benefits. They got all this insider trading information, becoming millionaires, billionaires, and where we're down at the bottom just suffering.
Yeah. I mean, that's usually, I mean, traditionally, like in American politics, right? Like, if you look at it, like, now that I've been, got a little experience, in paying attention, I mean, that's generally how it is, right? There's somebody who's making, even if they're not rich or affluent, and they come from, a well-off background, even if they come from like an impoverished neighborhood, right? This person will get into politics with all of this idealism and these grand ideas, and they'll campaign on it. They'll get into office, and then they realize that there's gridlock and there's nothing that they can really do to change anything. And not only that, they can make a ton of money if they just keep making these promises and just getting, inching along and making a little bit of progress. And so people, they just sell out, and I mean, it's sad, but just imagine, right? Somebody coming to your door and asking, like, and enlisting you in a Ponzi scheme, right? And then you give them money, and this person gets busted for the Ponzi scheme. And then the next year, there's somebody else coming to your door to ask you for money, and he gets busted, and you find out it's a Ponzi scheme. And then there's next year, there's somebody like, and you just keep giving money to these people. Like, at what point do you realize that, like, this is a scam? Like, it's a trip, man. Like, every voter cycle, like, it's just, you need to vote for us. You need to vote for us. The this is an election for the heart and soul of the country, and all of these, they manufacture these crises, to get you to get you in panic mode to go vote for them, but then nothing changes.
Yeah, yeah. You know what? At this point, I'm totally I don't even know what word to use here. But I'm not even interested in watching any of that stuff, listening to it or anything. It's just it just doesn't seem like it's gonna make a difference, when it comes to everybody's situation. The rich are rich and the poor are gonna get poorer.
Right. Like, it's not going to affect us. It's not going to change anything for you and I. You know,
Yeah.
it may affect some CEO in the Fortune 500 club. It may affect somebody on Wall Street or one of these banks.
You have 60 seconds remaining.
And they're checking for it because these policies are going to make a difference to them. I mean, for me, like, the only thing, the elections that matter for me are like the local elections. You know, like state and local elections. Like, the federal, I mean, all of that stuff, it's just so far away that, you know, I don't know, I just can't get invested in it.
You know what? And right now that we're talking about politics, did you keep up? Because I did read up and watch some videos about, Biden's son, getting caught up for that strap. Do you think he's gonna end up pardoning him? Because he originally said that he wasn't gonna do anything. What's your take on that?
Absolutely, he's going to pardon his son. Absolutely. As dirty as politics are, I wouldn't even respect him if he didn't pardon his son. Why the hell not? Why not?
Hey, call back, Silas. All right, all right. So today's stream is coming to you live and direct from Amsterdam, which will be located in the Netherlands. Right now, the current time is it's 9:49 p.m. Damn, it's already late already. But you know what? And the trippy part about this is that there's still light. It's still daytime out here. It doesn't get it doesn't get
This call is now
This is
being
Global
recorded.
Tel Link. You have a prepaid call from
Silas Johnson.
an incarcerated individual at the Centinela State Prison, Centinela, California. This call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded. You have a prepaid call. You will not be charged for this call. To accept this call, say or dial 5 now. Thank you for using Global Tel Link.
Hello, hello.
Hello?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm back.
All
Yeah, I was
right.
just gonna say, George Bush pardoned Scooter Libby. Over the whole Valerie Plame incident. You know what I mean? I mean, they held a trial. That was just a sham trial because him being found guilty. Wasn't worth the piece of paper it was written on. You know, I mean, look, just put it in perspective, right? I mean, the world operates on nepotism. And I was talking to my cousin James earlier, and he was saying he made a comment. It's not about your net worth; it's about your network. You know, I mean, the Lakers just drafted Bronny James, LeBron's kid, yesterday, right?
Mm-hmm.
The kid averaged what, like 5 points at SC. Do you think they drafted the kid because of his game, or do you think they drafted him to placate LeBron James? And give him what he wants, which is to play with his kid. I mean, kids should still be in college right now, but it's nepotism. It's just how the world works. I mean, if what good is your dad being the president, right? If you can't catch a beef and get pardoned.
You know what, Silas? I would just, not that I want to see somebody suffer, but I want to see him treated like if I was in that type of situation, because if I was in that type of situation, I would be looking at 10 years straight up. There was no way I want to be able to get out of that. So I want to see him do 10 years. I want him to go to a USP. I don't want him to go to a camp or a FCI. I want him to get the real experience of what it is, for somebody like me and you being in those type of situations.
So you want him to go into the cell with blackjack.
I'm not sure. I'm not exactly sure who Blackjack is, but I don't want to sell up with him. Yeah, I don't want him to be at a camp alone playing tennis and golf and being the chef for the warden. Nah, nah, nah. Screw all that. Hey, let's give him the full treatment. Can cheapen out on the experience.
Yeah, go and give him the full money. Give him the
Mhm.
full money.
Mhm. Mhm.
Let him know what this is really about. I
Yeah.
mean, I agree with you, right? I mean, I think that, like the people like, I think, that he shouldn't get any kind of special treatment if they put him into the system. And you and I know that, hell, they'll probably send Secret Service agents in there to do some time with him.
Mhm.
But, I mean, it's just, it's crazy, man. But it's how the world works, man. It's not right. It's not cool. It's not right. But I mean, it's just the reality that we live in, man. And instead of I've learned instead of complaining about the system, it's time to get rid of it, man, and make something shake for yourself.
Yeah. Yeah, man, but yeah, there's just like that part of me, like, man, these people get away with it and they get all this favoritism, and we get no breaks. We're gonna get the book thrown at us. So just once, I want the shoe to be on the other foot for them to feel, what we feel, when we're in there or our people are in there or our loved ones or whatever. I just want them to get that real
Yeah,
that real taste.
well, like you said, I want them to get the experience, not so they suffer, right?
Hmm.
Just so they can come in here and they can go back out to society and tell people what this really is. Because I think society has a misconception. It's easy to say that, hey, you did this, you broke the law, you deserve to go to prison. Like, that's, that's abstract. You know what I mean? That's so easy to do. You're so far removed from it, right? Personalize the experience, though. Like that, this is what you're paying for. This is what you're sending somebody to. You know, like just like the death penalty, right? Like I really believe I am a firm believer. I'm against the death penalty. I'm 100% against the death penalty. I don't think that human beings. I think it's totally like irresponsible to tell a human being to have laws that say killing is wrong, but if you kill somebody, we're going to kill you. Like that doesn't even make any sense. That's so I'm against the death penalty. But however, I believe if the state believes that the death penalty is just and they believe that it's legally and morally correct, then broadcast it on national television. Show people what you're doing. Show it to people. If what you're administering is justice, don't do it behind the curtain where 8 people are watching somewhere on a prison plantation. Don't do it like that. Show everybody. If you really believe in what you're doing, then you don't have to hide it. You can show people. And I guarantee you people will be crying for the death penalty. There will be an outcry, and people will be crying for the abolishment of the death penalty. And that's why they don't do it like that.
You know what, Silas? So I don't think I mentioned this to you. I haven't mentioned this to you, but so today, when I brought my CDCR jacket with me. The one I got on the back on the wall. With intentions of wearing it, out here while I'm out, on my vacation. And one of the reasons that I chose to do that is because it sparks conversations. People will come up to me. So like today, we jumped on this ferry today to jump from like one side of the of where we're at to another. And while we're on there, two people, I heard one person, like I heard some people behind me. They were like, "What's CDCR?" And I turned around really quick and I said, "California Department of Corrections." And then we made a few comments back and forth. They were American, all right. But then a little while later, right before we got to land, I felt somebody like tugging on my jacket, and I turned around and and then it was this older guy from Amsterdam. He was a local from here, and he was like, did you just get out? Or how much time did you do or something like that? And I was like, oh, you know what? I've never been to prison. He was like, but I kind of broke it down to him. It's like, I got a YouTube channel, and this is what kind of what I'm doing. It's to like spark conversations. And then I was like, hey, you know what? I was like, what's your take on, being sentenced to life in prison, without the possibility of ever coming home? And he was like, nah, that's like he was like he just couldn't wrap his head around, those type of sentence. I was like, what kind of sentence do they give out here? He was like, well, the most they could give you here is like 25 years, and at that, they'll normally let you go home
This call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded.
they'll normally let you go home at like 15 years. And I was like, man, that's interesting. Life, they'll give you a life sentence, but life, there's a number to it where they'll eventually let you out, and that's 25 years. And then we started
Right.
talking about like healthcare and whatnot, and he was telling me how like the healthcare was, really great, here in the Netherlands. And I was like, man, that's like something I couldn't even wrap my head around, because at home, even with having healthcare through work and whatnot, they make it hard. If you're having some type of issue, you got to go through a prioritization, then you got to go through a denial, then you got to appeal it. They don't make it easy when you gotta when you're seeking medical care, when it's something severe that's going to affect the insurance company's pocketbook. And so yeah, man, like what, like just bringing this jacket along with me, it's I've come into contact with people that I normally wouldn't even people that would normally wouldn't even speak to me, just out of their curiosity of me wearing that jacket and what I meant, and or where I'm from. It's definitely been a conversation starter, if you will. So I'm glad I brought it with
And
me. Go ahead.
I just wanted to say like I think that's awesome, man. Like the way like you out there, man, and even though you've never been to prison, you've been incarcerated before, so and you being out there, man, like you wearing that jacket, like you are representing us out there,
Hmm.
and all of us. I know I speak for all of us in this room when I say like we really, we really owe you a debt of gratitude, man, because you are out there starting those conversations, man, and and
This call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded.
increasing the awareness about us in here, and and that it makes a big difference, man, because a lot of it, like I said, like it's easy for people to just say, okay, well, you did this, you get, you get this, and well, okay, but what about, what there has to be something after that, 95% of the people that are in prison are coming home one day, so like, what's to be done about the people who are in here, like, do you want the conditions to be horrible in here? So you turn people who are criminal minded into worse criminals. Do you want people to come in here and be victimized? So eventually, when they get out, they're so angry that they victimize society. Like, those are the conversations that need to be had. As far as policy, and look, I'm a firm believer in accountability. And I'm in here. I've been in here 23 years and 4 months now. And I believe that a prison sentence is what I deserve for that, for murder and robbery. Absolutely. You know, I do believe at the same time that there should be a road back for redemption, and I've been fortunate enough to be able to participate, and walk that path and that road. You know, where but there have been a lot of people in different states or different prisons who haven't been afforded the same opportunity that I have. I think it's important that everybody has access to education, to rehabilitative programs, therapy, and things that are going to help us go back into the system, into the society, and be whole.
You know what? You know what I want to mention another thing to you, Silas. So, so we went to, so a large portion of our vacation here, we've been, it's me, my sister, and my niece. And my niece, she's into like art and museums and things of that nature. And so we were at a local museum here. And I was walking around because it was pretty big. There's like a few museums like within a small radius. So I'm walking through this garden. I'm checking like the scene out. Just walking around and checking everything out. And I was walking and I seen this big red gummy bear. All right. So I look at it, but I didn't think nothing of it. I just kept on walking. And then later, a few moments later, I found my sister, and uh, she went the same way that I went, where that gummy bear was at. So then she comes back. She was like, "Hey, did you see that gummy bear?" I was like, "Yeah, yeah, I saw it." She was like, and she showed me. She took a picture, and then the gummy bear in the front, it said New York Department of Corrections. I was like, what? I was like, what? Let me see that. I was like, we gotta go back over there. So we go back, and I did a photo op. I had the CDCR jacket on. I had it on, and I was like, hey, you gotta record me this. And like I said something. I don't exactly remember what I said, but I was like, what are the odds, from coast to coast, all the way from the east to the west in the United States, and they got this, gummy bear representing, the New York Department of Corrections, and then I got this CDCR jacket on, uh, and so I made a little short video, took some pictures, and I think I sent you one of the pictures. Hopefully they approve it soon, so you could go ahead and check out exactly what I'm talking about. But like of all places, for them to have something like that here, it's not in the United States. It's a whole different country. It's across the world, and I was like, man, this is like a great opportunity, for me to, spark, some type of conversation. So I uploaded a video, and I'm hoping, some
You have
people,
60 seconds remaining.
lay their eyes on it, and start talking about, like these, what's happening within, the Department of Corrections, and everywhere in the United States.
Yeah, that's man, that's really big, man. That's that's a trip, like you said, like to have something. a display like that was manufactured in the New York State prison. It just shows, it just shows how big the problem is. How big the problem is for this country. And how we're gonna deal with with crime and rehabilitation and making our system better. Before pre-crime instead of post-crime.
Yeah, yeah. I know the call's about to hang up. If you want to go ahead and call back, and then we'll go ahead and continue.
Okay.
All right, all right, all right. So tomorrow we're gonna be heading over to Barcelona tomorrow. We're getting down to like the last days of the visit. So we're gonna be in Barcelona Saturday, Sunday. I think Monday we head to Madrid, and then I fly back home on the second. So I'll be home just in time for the July. I'm definitely not looking forward to that flight from Madrid to LAX. It's gonna be easily like a 10-hour flight. So I think the day before I fly back, I'm probably gonna try to stay up so like that I could just go ahead and fly, sleep on the flight. And let me see this comment that Juan put. He put James is making sure you ain't forgot it even after you're committed a crime and got sentenced. You are still human. Yes, there is people that deserve life in there if they ain't willing to change. Yeah, for the better for themselves. I feel. All right, he's calling back. Let me see here.
This is
This
Global
call is now
Tellink.
being
You have a
recorded.
prepaid call from
Silas Johnson.
an incarcerated individual at the Centinela State Prison, Centinela, California. This call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded. You have a prepaid call. You will not be charged for this call. To accept this call, say or dial 5 now. Thank you for using Global Tellink.
Hello, hello.
Okay.
Yep.
All right.
Yeah, yeah. So, Juan, he just put a comment on here, and he writes, "I feel age should really play a factor in sentencing, no matter if you're an adult, 18 plus." You know what? With that comment right there, how many people have you seen, go back to court, because they were still at a young age, and because I know and I find it weird that people that were like 16, 15, they would get some outrageous sentences like 100 plus years, triple life, and I don't even think adults were giving those type of sentences. What's your thought on those type of sentences, Silas?
It's just I don't know. It's barbaric. I know somebody that committed a double murder when he was 14, right? And it's a horrible crime. There's no getting around that. It's horrible. This person has been in prison like nearly 30 years, and is in here, doing everything that the world requires. But his last hearing, they were on him about the nature of the crime and everything, right? But as like a 40-something-year-old man, like how can you account for something that you did when you were 14? No matter how horrible, like how can you like connect like something like no matter how much you learn, like and how much you change, like you're answering for something that you did when you were a child, you know? So I get that it's hey, if somebody you can't have, I don't care how old somebody is, you can't have somebody with that type of dangerousness in society, harming people because you just can't. I get that. I'm not contesting that fact. What I'm saying is like when this person, this individual goes into a parole board hearing, the expectation is for them to have insight, into who they were, as a 14-year-old kid, and to know all of their, motivations and things that drove them to do what they did. Like, in my case, I was 23 years old. I was a grown man, you know, and even though I was a youth offender, like, I was an adult, you know. So there's a difference between me, going out and picking up a weapon and murdering someone than a 14-year-old kid. I knew the ramifications. I knew that that was final. That was it. That once I did this, it's over, and I can't take it back, no matter how bad I feel. And just being a gang member was just more important to me than anything. And even some sadly, even my victim's life. I don't know if you can really assess all of the ramifications of your actions or something, the magnitude of murdering somebody when you're a 14-year-old kid. I don't believe that you can. I didn't know, you know.
Yeah.
I knew that if you shot somebody, you could kill them, as a 14-year-old teenager. But I mean, you just there's just no way, like. And I think you just put somebody in an impossible situation when you're asking them to, almost 30 years later, account for a horrible action that they committed while they were a child. It's just, I don't know. I just have a difficult time dealing with that.
Yeah, it's like you can't change like, what's already happened. Like the only thing you could do is, move forward from, from that situation, and hopefully you made the changes, within yourself, and figured out, why you did something like that, and not to do something like that in the future. Because I mean, when you commit crimes like that, there's no coming back from it, as like the person's gone. um and it destroys a lot of lives, the family members, the person that the life was taken of, the perpetrators, family members, everybody suffers. It's just a whole circle of suffering.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, and this, it's a horrible situation. It's a horrible event. I don't know. Like, I think, and then like you take this 14-year-old kid and you throw them in this type of environment, or someplace like it until they turn 18, and this person grew up in an institution, like grew up in prison, so it's just, man, it's really, it's crazy, man.
Hey,
It's
Silas,
really crazy.
let me ask you, what kind of sentence did they give him at age 14? And I'm assuming they tried him as an adult, right?
Oh, he had life without initially, but then I think he got life with the possibility. But yeah, initially it was life without, that was it.
And at this point,
That was it.
how long ago was his sentence overturned or changed?
I'm not exactly sure when it was modified, but I am positive that he initially.
This call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded.
He's already gone in front of the parole board yet, or is he even eligible at this point?
Yeah, he's gone and been denied. Yeah, he's gone and been denied.
Okay, okay. Huh.
Yeah, so and hopefully, hopefully he gets out the next one. I mean, he's doing everything that's required of him, and so it's just like, I don't know. I just feel like at what point, if someone isn't a danger to society, like what's the point of keeping them here? It 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 doesn't do society any good. You have taxpayers paying to support a grown man, and it, I mean, who could be out there in society, you know, participating in the workforce, in commerce, like I don't know. It just doesn't make any. It just doesn't make that much sense to me. And I know public safety is first and foremost, and it should be. You know, I think a lot of times, it's just people are just kept in here for too long.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, I hear you, I mean, well, luckily, now with, with juveniles now, they're not, they don't send them over to adult court anymore. I think for the most part now they keep them in, juvenile court in the within their county, and the county needs to, figure out, what's the proper sentence, for, well, you know what? I don't even think they call him sentence as a juvenile. It's man, I forgot what they call it. Do you remember what they call it when you get sentenced as a juvenile?
Um, uh, well, you made it like a long-term sentence?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Because I don't think I think they don't. Oh, you're committed. You get committed. That's the word, committed. And a juvenile, they get committed, and they're not an inmate. They're a ward. They're the ward of the state.
Hold on real quick.
Yeah, go ahead, go ahead. All right. So Silas, I guess somebody came to knock on his door, and he's figuring out what they want. As soon as he's done with that, then he'll go ahead and jump back on the line.
This call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded.
Hello?
Hello, Silas.
Hello?
Yeah,
Yeah, my bad. Uh, they had the brothers coming back from the incident earlier today,
yeah.
and I was just hollering at one of them.
Hey, Silas, you're gonna have to put up a sign on your door, so when anybody ever comes up to your door, they're gonna have to knock, and they're gonna be like, "Excuse me on the tier."
I gotta, I gotta get one of those. I gotta get one of those red signs that you have, man.
Oh, like the
I
on-air
gotta get one
ones?
of those signs. Yeah, I gotta get a. I need an on-air sign, man. We gotta get, or at least like a sticker. I
Yeah.
gotta get like a sticker. You know what I mean? So I can just put up. You know, give me an on-air sticker. That'd be dope.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to make that happen when I get back home. I have to print that out and send it over overnight.
Let them know, man. Hey, I'm on air, man.
Hey, so you just said that there was an incident. What kind of incident took place over there earlier on?
So, so when I was coming back from my class, and they put the yard down, and when I came back in the building, I found out that there was a one-on-one fight with the black and Hispanic, and then I guess some other Hispanics jumped in and started jumping one of the older brothers in the building, and the the rest of the blacks on the bottom tier, they mobilized, and it was a melee in the building, and they're just coming back now from the incident.
And and just for clarification, or maybe like history, that's happened in the past. I don't think I've ever heard anybody mention something like that happening there on that yard that you're currently on. Normally, right? Normally it's a pretty good functioning yard, right? A programming yard.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. It was yeah, I was kind of surprised that it occurred here. So yeah, the yard is usually tame. There's college, there's educational, vocational programs, self-help, and there's a lot of positive things happening here. So yeah, it was kind of surprising to me that took place here. Yeah,
Man, that sucks. And what goes, when you heard this incident, like, what's going through your mind? Because, we had previously, we had made some arrangements for you to jump on a video visit for me, and if if that incident would have took place a little bit later, you could have possibly been, in the crossfire in a situation like that.
yeah, it definitely was on my mind. Like when after I came back, I was thinking like, wow, like I would have been in the day room talking to you, when that situation occurred, and it's just crazy, like man, it just woke me up to it just reminded me of that, that I'm here and this is a good environment, and I'm really blessed and fortunate to be here. However, this is still prison, and prison things happen on prison yards.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, yeah. Like you said, yeah. No matter how how good you're doing, the programs you're involved in, not everybody's doing the same things you are. Everybody operates differently, and even though if you're not a part of something, you can easily get caught up on something that has nothing to do with you just based on the color of your skin, unfortunately.
Yeah, yeah, and that's what sucks, like, and I think that's something that, that's something that, I mean, obviously, I believe should be taken into consideration, while people are being assessed, and it's like, I mean, that sometimes, like in here, like, you know, if,
You have 60 seconds remaining.
a situation like that, if somebody just attacks you, like what is the expectation? To just curl up in a ball and wait for the COs who to come and save you? Like, like that's not a reasonable expectation of anybody, like, yeah, I don't know, man. It's just a trip, man.
But you know what? And it sucks, because I hear what you're saying. Obviously you want to defend yourself, but then, when you're in front of the board, they're gonna sit there and point out a lot of different scenarios that could have happened. It's easy for them to say because they're not the ones, in the middle of a situation like that. I think their expectations are not realistic, but on the other hand, if you're able to, get over a situation like that without getting yourself involved, it kind of. All right, so this call was, cut off, and he should be calling back shortly. Once he calls back, then we'll go ahead and continue. Unfortunately, these calls only last for 15 minutes, and they're automatically cut off. Strangely enough, I was talking to Javier a few nights ago, and man, I think for whatever reason the call we were on didn't hang up. I think we talked like for a good 50 minutes, and there was no interruption. So I found that kind of odd because I've never had that happen in the past before.
This call is now being recorded. This is Global Tel Link. You have a prepaid call from
Silas Johnson.
an incarcerated individual at the Centinela State Prison, Centinela, California. This call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded. You have a prepaid call. You will not be charged for this call. To accept this call, say or dial 5 now. Thank you for using Global Tel Link.
Hello, Silas.
Hello.
Yeah. Um.
Okay.
So, you know, so like if like whenever situations like that happen, I'm not sure what everybody else's status was. I'm not sure if everybody was lifers or if they had a date, to come home. But obviously, if some of the individuals that participated, if they had a set date, and then if there was any individuals that are lifers, it's not gonna affect the people that have a date like it's gonna affect somebody that's a lifer. They might lose somebody that has a date to come home. They might lose some good time, but they could always gain that back. Opposed to somebody that's a lifer, they could be set back. I'm not sure how many years incident like that will set them back, but I'm pretty sure easily it's like 3, 4, 5 years maybe. If they took some action on a situation like that. Um, what do you know how much time somebody would lose like that? Being a lifer and being involved in a melee.
I mean, the difference in what you're talking about is somebody that's going home in a year, next year, or has a, determined a date. They'll lose 90 days, and they can get those 90 days back, for the fight. But you're talking about somebody going to BPH to sit in front of BPH to, you know, to go through the process for their freedom. I mean, you're talking about the difference between 3 months and 3 to 5 years. It's definitely going to be years. It's not going to be, months don't even factor into the equation when you're talking about lifer.
Yeah, yeah. And then like I mean, if you get if you get involved in something like that and you're a lifer, when you're in front of the parole board, like they don't want to hear that you're obligated, to defend yourself or whatever. Like they want to hear that you curled up in a ball and you didn't take any action. Um, I kind of, I kind of understand a little bit because when you come out to the outside world, you know, you could get into a verbal altercation with somebody, and you just gotta, walk away, or, or handle it in a better in a better situation. So I kind of get it, where the BPH expects more, they hold you at a higher level, to be able to, get yourself out of situations like that. But at the end of the day, like if you're not used to being a punching bag to somebody, is like how do you lay it down? How don't you not get involved?
I mean, if you were walking down the street, you know, and somebody just sucker punched you and tried to cold cock
This call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded.
you, but he didn't knock you out.
Hmm.
You know, it was like a glancing blow, but this person is still coming at you, attacking you.
Yeah.
Is your instinct going to be just to curl up into a ball and just, let him, you know, do
Yeah.
whatever he wants to do to you? Whenever you're done kicking my ass, you feel free to stop.
Hmm.
I mean, citizens in society are held to that expectation. And I understand that we're held to a higher level of responsibility because we've fallen short of being responsible in society. So make no mistake, I understand that completely.
Yeah.
You know, and in the case of, like, say, you're just sitting down and no one is attacking you, you just go join into a riot. I mean, hey, that's on you. I think I'm more talking about a situation where something like that occurs and you're not getting involved,
Yeah.
and someone comes to you and attacks you. Like, you sit down on the ground, you sit down, you get down like you're supposed to when an incident occurs, and somebody runs over there to you while you're sitting down, when you're following the rules, doing what you're supposed to do, sit down, when the incident occurs and somebody just starts running, starts pummeling you.
Hmm.
Like, I mean, what do you do? Like, or if someone has a weapon, like, what do? You just curl up and just get stabbed? Like, what do you do? Like,
Yeah.
like, and that's my thing. Like, if
Y-
someone is attacking you, they're trying to harm you.
Yeah. Especially with a knife, if they have some type of weapon, then they don't have it out for show. They're trying to use it, and obviously they're trying to do, most likely they're trying to take your life if they're using a weapon, right?
Right. And I mean, I've been in here 23 years, like I said. Do you know how many times I've seen a correctional officer save someone from getting stabbed?
Probably zero.
None.
Yeah.
None. So I'm just saying, like, Superman ain't coming to the rescue. Superman ain't coming to save you, man. Like, I'm just being real. Like, it don't work like that. You know, it's just, it's just a screwed up situation to be in. And granted, we put ourselves here. You know, However, if you're doing everything you can and being responsible to get yourself out, and, you're peripherally, causing something like that. I think that should be taken into consideration. And how you conduct yourself during it. Like, I'm not saying you just, you jump up and you just start beating the hell out of somebody, and like, no, like, of course not. But, like, I mean, I think that you should at least be given the latitude to not be harmed. You know.
And you know what? And what's like right there in that unit? Like how many blacks are in your unit? Um, because I'm assuming. I mean, I've never been to prison, but I'm assuming just on your proximity too close to the border, I would assume that the blacks are numbered compared to the the Hispanics, right?
Oh yeah. I mean, there for this building there are a considerable amount of blacks downstairs, but for upstairs, uh, let's see. I'll start with myself. One, two, three, four, five, six, seven. There's seven blacks on the top tier. There's seven blacks on the top tier.
Hmm.
That's it. No, eight, eight, eight. Excuse me, eight. There are eight. There are eight blacks on the top tier.
Hmm.
Nine. One, two, three, four, five, six, seven, eight, nine. There are nine blacks on the top tier.
And when
So
was so does that
probably
mean?
it's probably like 30 to nine. It's probably like 30 to nine. 28 to nine. 30
Yeah.
to nine.
But you know what? For yourself, when it comes to race, you get along with everybody, right? Like there's no is there a color line that you see when when you're interacting
No,
with
I mean,
with other races?
well, what's the trip is like for me, like the lion's share of the people that I associate with here are Mexican.
Yeah.
So that's like because they're the ones that are in college with me. They're in my recovery community. So and with you got Ricky. I mean, so I mean I have a pretty diverse group that I interact with. And
Hmm.
so I hang out. I hang out with them. But like I said, I'm on good terms with everybody, and doesn't matter the race, white, black, Asian, other, Latino. It doesn't matter. I'm you know, but I hang around people who are good for me and who are doing the same things I'm doing. So race isn't an indicator of if we're going to hang out, or we're going to associate. Because I shouldn't say hang out because I don't hang out, but if we're going to associate with each other, race isn't the that's not the litmus test. Is who are you, and then what are you doing here, you know, to get out of here, and to change yourself. Because if you're not doing anything, I don't care, what color you are, we're not going to be associated.
Yeah. Yeah. As it should be. Um, Man, I don't know, man. It's just, I just this whole situation. I'm just glad, that, nobody was seriously hurt, no loss of life, because that's been, a common occurrence, on the news, on YouTube, where somebody loses their life, for whatever
Yeah,
reason.
and yeah, and it's like like you said, like it's serious. It's not just like it's not a game. It's definitely not a game. And you can be as sorry as you want to be. You can feel as guilty as you want. You can have as much remorse as you want. Take it from me. But once it's done, it's done. You know, it ain't no hitting the reset button, reminding the tape, none of that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. You know what? I recently had a conversation about that. When somebody loses their life, especially when they're young. I've had friends, that lost their lives and they're like 15, 16 years old, and that was it. It was over for them. Like, they never got to see, their 30s, their 40s, or have a family. Taking somebody's life it's forever.
Yeah, I think we talked. We touched on this before, but I was I had a conversation with my brother, and we talked about just how fortunate we are, to have made it through all of the crazy, life that we had lived, as teenagers and young adults, and like a lot of people, like you said, like I've been fortunate to live through a lot of dumb, dumb decisions and bad decisions, and there have been people who have made one mistake, growing up as teenagers, you turned down the wrong block, you went to the wrong store, and that was it, you know.
Yeah.
It definitely puts it.
This call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded.
Yeah, no. Countless stories, of the amount of people that I know, and you don't even have to be, you didn't have to even be doing anything. You could have just been in the wrong place. They could have been a carload of dudes, looking for trouble, and they couldn't find the people that they were intended to, take it out on, and then you're the one that ended up, paying the price because you were at the wrong place at the wrong time, and you didn't respond to them the way they thought they deserved to be responded to, or maybe smacked your lips, and that's all it took.
Exactly. How many stories do we know of something like that happening? When somebody rolls up on somebody and dude ain't even affiliated, you know what I mean? Like,
Hmm.
and it goes bad like that, and you know you you see the media, and you talk, you hear them talk about, like this is a gang related shooting. Well, yeah, but it was one sided.
Yeah.
it wasn't it wasn't it wasn't there weren't full participants involved,
Yeah, it was one way. Yeah, I know a few people that lost their lives like that just for waiting for the bus, and it's a trip because I remember there's one particular person that ended up losing his life. We had just seen them earlier on in the day, and he was at the bus stop, at the same bus stop we would wait at, and he just happened to be there at the wrong time, and that was it. That's all it took, and he wasn't gang affiliated, and they took his life, and that was it. His life journey ended right at that moment on that bus stop.
Yeah,
You have 60 seconds remaining.
when you get some time, I want you to Google a friend of mine, Nikki Foley. She was murdered in the San Fernando Valley in 1993, and a few of my friends were shot in that incident. A friend of mine, she was pregnant at the time, and she was shot, like 6 or 7 months pregnant, lost her kid, and like four, four friends of mine were shot in that incident. But yeah, my friend Nikki Foley was murdered in that incident, man, and they're just walking home from the bus stop at night, man. That's it. Two carloads pull up and they get out and just gun them down.
Hey, I know the phone's about to hang up. Silas, if you want to go ahead and call back.
All right.
All right. Man, it's right now. Let's see, what time is it right now? It's 10:38. The sun's barely going down right now. Like we still we still have daylight. We still, man, I wouldn't be surprised if it doesn't get dark till 11 o'clock. That's a trip. And I wish we, back home, it would stay dark till 10 o'clock, man. And then the trippy part is that the sun comes back up at 4 o'clock.
This is Global Tel Link. You have a prepaid call from
Silas
This
Johnson.
call is now being recorded. An incarcerated individual at the Centinela State Prison, Centinela, California. This call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded. You have a prepaid call. You will not be charged for this call. To accept this call, say or dial 5 now. Thank you for using Global Tel Link.
Hello, hello.
All right.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
sir.
So yeah, I'll definitely go ahead and look her up, Silas. But what I was gonna tell you was that, man, I got a pack, Silas. I got a mess right here in the room, and then we're we're gonna be bouncing. We're gonna be hitting the road tomorrow. So I think this is gonna be it, Silas, for the day. Hopefully, uh, they resume program tomorrow, and we're able to get either on some phone calls or some video, so some video visits, because tomorrow, we're gonna be on Barcelona, and I don't know if it's gonna be. I think maybe tomorrow or maybe within the next few days. I plan. There's a prison they changed into a museum out there that I'm gonna visit. So hopefully we're able to coordinate it where we could do a video visit while I'm visiting there.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely, man. Go ahead and get you some shut eye, man. I know you've been on the run, man. Go ahead and
Non-stop.
take you a siesta, man.
Yeah. All
For
right.
sure, man. For sure. All
All right.
right, man. Appreciate you, man.
Yeah, and then I do want to say is I uploaded a part one of the red light district. I kind of did it right before we walked we did it at like the doorstep. So hopefully in the next few
Okay.
days I'll be editing that video. I'll be putting everything together. You did these video visits that I did, they were a little bit different than the other ones because normally when I do the video visits it's just one on one. With this one, what I did was, we incorporated doing multiple video visits at the same time, and I think it turned out pretty good. So I'm definitely looking forward to editing the video with you, Gary, and Tito. And man, it was fun. I had some good laughs. Hopefully you guys did, and hopefully you had some good stories that you were able to share with other people right there. That are in your unit. They're not privileged. To do video visits like you guys are.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely, man. And I got a couple of the videos you sent, and as soon as we come out, I'm gonna share them with some of the fellas, man. And, I know they gonna dig
That's right. It's like Silas
it.
got his own little stash of baseball cards right there.
For real. For real.
Yeah.
Word.
Man, yeah, yeah, man. Silas, man. Well, hey, it's been good,
Uh,
Silas. I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this stuff up right here, and we'll be in contact, and have a good night. And I appreciate you coming on and spending this time with us today. Oh, hold on.
Absolutely, man. Thank you
Oh,
for having me.
hold up, Silas. We got a question from Juan. He just snuck one in right now. He writes, question for Silas. What helps you get through your time? How can a supporter help you get through your day-to-day life?
For me, my relationship with my family, I have a beautiful family. They've been supportive all of this time, for the long haul. Writing gives me purpose. I love writing. I'm a student in San Diego State's V-Stop program, so that absolutely keeps me busy and focused and positive. Um, yeah, but anybody that wants to give me encouragement, you can go online and check out a couple chapters of my book on Amazon. You can tap in with me. You can tap in with me and dialogue with me. If anybody has any questions or just curious about everything that this experience entails, you can hit me up. And yeah, so that's pretty much that's pretty much it.
All right, all right. Hopefully, Juan, that answered your question. Yeah, if you're interested in reaching out to Silas, you could he's easily you could reach out to him through the Getting Out app that's conveniently available on either the Android Play Store or the iOS. Oh, your book. Oh yeah, that's right. Silas has a book. Let me check if I could pull up the details right here. I think I might have it under the stream, and if I do, I'll go ahead and add it to the. Let me see here to the information here. Let me check. Yeah, I got it right here on Amazon. I'll put it on the chat right here for Juan. And it's also located, community located. If you go to the details of this stream here, or any of Silas's stream, all that information, it's on every stream we're on. It's on there, but I'll go ahead and add it to the chat, and yeah, check him out on Amazon or any major book platform.
Yeah, that's under Silas M. Johnson of Rivers Light and the Barren Tunnel, Elegies and Effigy. And that's volume one. I'm already on volume two and working on the novel, and so there's more to come. Stay tuned.
That's right. That's right. Hey, thank you, Silas. And like I said around here, lights like a candle. Once you blow it out, it lights out. And with that, we're out.
Peace.